What is going on, fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money Online Trainer podcast. It's your boy, Brian Mark. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how the Instagram algorithm works. How does this freaking algorithm work? What do you need to do to go viral? And how do you basically become a better creator? Now, before I get into today's episode, I just want to let you guys know that yesterday was an absolute shit show on Instagram. It is Tuesday, December 17th, the day of me recording this podcast. How many of you guys had something like weird happen with your Instagram yesterday with your DM messenger process? Yesterday around like 5, 6 p.m., anybody that sent me a DM, my Instagram would like auto reply with like a bunch of like basically JavaScript code. And it was happening for me. And I was like, what the fuck? And I thought I was getting hacked. So I was like changing my passwords and, doing all the security measures. And then finally, I ended up going to my clients and I ended up like asking my clients, I'm like, yo, are any of you guys experiencing this right now? And turns out a bunch of them were. So after doing a little bit of research, I found out that 44% of Instagram users were experiencing some sort of like issue. There was a problem that was being reported. And then I realized that it was a glitch on Instagram. So ended up getting a hold of Meta and a couple things that my clients did that helped. So if this is still happening to you, number one is updating your Instagram app. Number two is one of the things that one of my clients did was actually deleting Instagram from their phone, reinstalling it. Those two things seem to be a fix. And I'm just going to say another thing is if you're still experiencing some sort of glitch, if you are a Meta verified user, AKA you have like a check mark, you can actually go into your settings, go to help, and then click advanced support. And then when you click advanced support, you can actually talk to a Meta rep, which I just learned yesterday. I'm actually going to be doing a video on that today because I thought that was really cool. I talked to a Meta rep. They ended up solving the problem for me. I ended up getting my account back without any fucking weird ass messages. So that is that. Now, let's talk about the algorithm because I think that pretty much every single person that's listening to this podcast wants to get more views, wants to get more followers, wants to get more likes, wants to get more comments, wants to grow on social media. And so you do the work and you post on social media and you're trying to become more successful with your content, but you put all this work into your content and then for whatever reason, it doesn't hit. How many of you guys feel like that? You post a video, you're like, this one's going to be it. This one's going to be good. I know this one's going to pop off. And for whatever reason, the video does not perform the way that you want it to. And you end up feeling like you're fucking struggling. How many of you guys feel like the algorithm hates you? I get it, right? I understand because I know what it feels like to post a bunch of content and have it not land. Okay. It fucking sucks, especially when you're putting all this effort and all this time and all this energy into social media and Instagram just isn't giving you what you fucking deserve. I get that mindset. I understand. Here's the reality. And this is a conversation I have with myself frequently. So I want to share this with you guys is whenever my views are down, it has absolutely nothing to do with the algorithm and absolutely everything to do with me. That's it. Getting mad at the algorithm is like getting mad at your vehicle, is like getting mad at your house, is like getting mad at your computer. It's just a fucking algorithm, okay? It's a series of code that is designed for one purpose. And I'm going to tell you guys what the purpose of the algorithm is and why it even exists in the first place, okay? So getting mad at the algorithm is fucking stupid because it doesn't make any sense because it's just a computer code. So instead of getting upset about the algorithm, let's actually understand what the purpose of this is, okay? What's the purpose of the algorithm? Purpose of the algorithm is very simple, okay? Facebook and Instagram is a business, period, all right? Their goal is to keep you on the platform for longer. Why? Why is it important to keep you on the platform for longer? Why is it important to keep your attention on Facebook and Instagram? The reason it's important to keep your attention on Facebook and Instagram is because the way that the business operates is they sell your attention, right? That's what ads are. And so when you're paying attention to your phone, you're scrolling through Instagram, you're scrolling through your reels, likes, comment, whatever. When social media has your attention, they can sell it to advertisers. And yes, they do use your data. You're a 26-year-old man that lives in Kansas City and you look up bodybuilding videos all the time. Guess what? There's data that's associated with that. And then Facebook and Instagram, what they're going to do is to the highest bidder, they're going to sell your attention to somebody that's selling a product to somebody that might be 25 years old, that's a male that lives in Kansas City that likes bodybuilding. That's the game, okay? That's the entire purpose. The purpose of social media's algorithm is to keep your attention on the platform for longer so that they can sell it to advertisers, period. Now, understanding this business model, understanding that Facebook and Instagram will get rewarded when people stay on the platform for longer. What we need to do is we need to understand, how do we actually keep people's attention on our content? Because that's the game we need to play, because we understand that if our content actually keeps people's attention, what will end up happening is they will stick on the platform for longer. And if they stick on the platform for longer, Facebook and Instagram will sell more of their attention to advertisers. So it is in Facebook and Instagram's best interest to push your content when your content does the job of keeping people on the platform for longer. Okay. So that's like why the algorithm exists in the first place, right? That's why. Now, let's talk about the actual mechanics of it. And then I'm going to give you some practical things that you can do in order to start basically, quote unquote, hacking the algorithm and getting more views and all that stuff. So first things first is let's talk about distribution. And so the way that the algorithm distributes your content is very simple. When you post a piece of content, what Instagram does is Instagram shows that piece of content to a small batch of people. Let's just say, for the sake of this podcast, it's going to show it to 100 people. Now, out of the 100 people that get shown that piece of content, Instagram's algorithm is going to pay attention to how people respond to that video. Meaning, do they watch the first 3 seconds? Do they scroll instantly? Do they tap and say not interested? Do they like it? Do they share it? Do they save it? Do they watch it all the way through? Like, Instagram's algorithm is going to pay attention to all the data in the video. By the way, the most important metric, there's 2 actually, watch time and shares. Write that down. The 2 most important metrics are watch time and shares. Watch time refers to how much time somebody actually spends watching your video. And so you can find this on your videos, like AKA you can go to your insights and it'll say your video is 17 seconds long and the average person watched it for 7 seconds. So it's going to pay attention to watch time, how much of the content actually got consumed. It's also going to pay the most attention to shares. Shares is distribution to other people. Now, the reason that I think that, watch time is good because you have to keep the video engaging, but shares, the reason that's good is twofold. Number one is when somebody's sharing your piece of content, like let's say somebody shares it to their Instagram story, all those Instagram story viewers count as a view on your video. So that's number one. And number two, you get distributed in front of other people's audience, which is why when you're creating content, number one, not only do you need to make sure that it is, you try to make it engaging all the way through, like no dead spaces, no like moments of silence, trying to keep people entertained by using props and changing scenes and wearing different outfits and doing funny shit and making funny voices. Like, you need to keep people engaged, but also trying to consider the fact that like the more relatable or shareable your content is, the better it's going to perform. Now, again, the reason that Instagram pays attention to watch time is because the longer that people are on the platform watching your videos, the more that they can sell their attention to advertisers. And so if you have a video that gets people to watch and consume all the way through, that 15 to 20 seconds, Instagram's going to see that watch time, realize that this video is keeping people on the platform, and it's in Instagram's best interest to share that piece of content out to more people so that we can get more people watching videos. Because if you have a video, let's just say that when people show your video to people and then all of a sudden fucking 1 second in, people are scrolling, why would Instagram show that to anybody, right? That doesn't make sense. That's not a smart business move. It's not a smart business move to show that piece of content. That would be like, let's use this analogy. Instagram is an NFL team and you've got a backup quarterback that can't throw the fucking ball and you're going to play him during a game. Why would you fucking do that? Why would you do that when you've got somebody that is an all-star quarterback where every time he throws the ball, it fucking, it's a banger and it always goes well and it's always good. I'm going to play that guy, right? So you got to view it like that. Like, if your content isn't getting shown on the algorithm, it has everything to do with the fact that you need to become a better creator and nothing to do with the Instagram algorithm, period, full stop, no questions asked. That's it. Because when you can start to create content that helps Instagram with their goals, and their goals is keeping people on the platform for longer, Instagram will help you with your goals, which is going viral. So anytime you get a video that goes viral, the reason it goes viral is because there's something in that video that caught people's attention, that made them want to watch, whether that's 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, the whole thing. And because that video made people want to watch, Instagram is going to reward you by showing it to more people because you're keeping them on the platform for longer, which means they get to sell more advertising space. Very nice. Okay, so how do you create content that actually keeps people on the platform? That's like a really good fucking question, is how do you create content that keeps people on the platform for longer? I'm going to give you a few different steps to consider and think about so that you guys can start to create high level content. So First things first, step number one, write these down. I'm going to give you 5 steps. So this is important. Write this down. Step number one is to ideate. I think a lot of you guys are trying to come up with your own fucking pieces of content. You're trying to recreate the wheel. You're thinking the best creator on the planet. When the reality is, if your views are not growing on social media and you're not getting shown to more people, you need to work on your content. So step number one is ideate. I spend 30 minutes a day on average looking up other people's content. If you guys want a video on how to do this, I just posted an Instagram reel showing you guys that the hook of the reel says Instagram literally tells you what's going viral. Go watch that video on my page. It's going to show, it's like within the last 10 videos, just scroll through the last 10 reels. It's going to teach you exactly how to go find other viral creators, go find other viral ideas so you can ideate. Now, the reason you want to ideate is very simple. Instagram and TikTok have already shown you what subjects, what hooks, what video styles are already going viral, because you can do your own research and figure out what's already viral on the platform. Now, once you do your own research, and let's say you're a coach for busy moms, right? So you search busy mom coach as a hashtag, you end up finding videos. Those videos that are viral, Instagram and TikTok have said this type of content is worth showing to a wider audience. So I want to study this video to see what it was about this video that made it go viral, and see what about this video can I pull into my own piece of content and make my own piece of content perform better. So step number one is I ideate. When I'm ideating, what I will do is I will scroll through Instagram or TikTok reels, and I'll find one that like I resonate with or would be easy for me to recreate. And I'll write the idea down, whether I save the actual link itself, or I'll just write down the hook of the video and then I'll create my own video. Step number one is to ideate. Step number two, this is really important. You got to fucking keep people's attention, you guys. Okay. So step number two is the hook. Now the hook is the first 3 seconds of the video. Now there's a variety of different things that you can do to create a hook that captures people's attention, and I'm going to give you a bunch of them. You could change your voice like this so that you sound like an idiot when you're doing something. Or you could have a character in your video. So like me engaging with my wife and me pretending that I'm selling my wife something could be a way that I start the video. To start the video, I can run up to the screen and fucking say something. I can also whisper, because if I whisper, I might pull people in. I could also use negative hooks like stop being a fucking dumbass on your sales calls, right? I could also use a prop. And so I could be drinking a cup of coffee to start my video, right? I could be playing with something in my hand. I could be like playing with a lighter, right? I could be fucking tossing a bottle up in the air, right? I could be wearing a funny outfit. But the fact of the matter is I need to do something in the first 3 seconds of the video that makes people go, what the fuck, right? What's this? I need to cause some sort of emotion. I need to stir some sort of emotion. Now, again, there's a variety of different ways to do this, but please understand that if your content isn't performing well, I almost fucking guarantee you it's your hook. I'm almost certain, all right? I'm always almost certain it's your hook. And I'm almost certain that if you took the same information that you're delivering and you packaged it in a different way, that it would perform better. Now, I'm going to tell you guys how I do this, okay? You guys getting value? Let me know if you're getting value from this. I'm going to tell you how I approach hooks and keeping people's attention. When I go into my filming session, I do a little dance, shake it a little on, get round tonight. So I do a little dance, and then I get myself into this place where I'm like, be fucking entertaining, okay? Be entertaining. When I go to film, I'm like, be entertaining. And like, I just get myself to a place where I'm like, I'm an entertaining motherfucker. And then I just do whatever is I need to do to make the video engaging. Now, I think that the way that you guys need to approach your content is like, imagine you are on stage, okay? That's how I imagine it. When I'm creating content, I'm like, I imagine myself on stage. I'm like, all right, let's fucking entertain these bitches, right? That's how I approach it. So when you go to film your content, get yourself in a good fucking mood, be energetic, be enthusiastic, use your voice, play around with tonality, wear different outfits, get people involved, run up to the camera, change your tone, start whispering. Get really loud. Say things that are controversial. Be entertaining. Okay. So in the first 3 seconds of the video, you've got to do something that fucking gets the people going. Okay? You got to get the people going. And listen, this is a lot simpler than you guys are making it out to be. Like there was one video, I literally just posted a video on my page where I'm like using a fucking water bottle as a microphone. It doesn't have to be this big fucking grandiose thing where you go out and you buy 7 different outfits. It can be something as simple as when you're doing a nutrition video, you're fucking chopping up a banana in the kitchen, right? Like you just need to be doing something that is attention grabbing. A really simple example of this is I found somebody's page that does like window cleaning. And they had like a window cleaning Instagram, and they were literally just fucking washing a window. in the hook. And the video was fucking turbo viral. All they were doing, they were just washing a window. I'm like, that's fucking funny. People are weird. They like watching shit. That's like why you see girls do these fucking videos where they're like, every video to start, they're like doing their makeup. And then they're like talking about like, this is how you sell more products. And they're fucking doing their makeup while they're fucking talking about it. I'm like, I get it. You're entertaining me. You're doing something in the video that's catching people's attention. So that's step number 2 is the hook. You got to be entertaining. Don't be fucking boring. Step number 3, the video must be engaging. Write that down. The video must be engaging. Now, I have a couple different ways to go about the video being engaging. One of them is I like to fuck around. And so during the video, let's say I have a script and I'm like talking about 3 words to never say on sales calls. I'm like, never, ever, ever say these 3 words on sales calls. And then I want to keep the video engaging and be like, if you do, you're going to sound like a fucking dork, right? Like I'll do that because I'm like, that's to me, that's funny. That might not be your personality, but I think that's funny. I also like breaking it up with jokes. And so like you could, talk about, I'm trying to think of like an example that I could use here where you could insert a "that's what she said" joke, right? So like you're in the middle of your script and you're like, "That's what she said," and then you just keep going. It's like make it entertaining. Another way that you guys can make your videos entertaining and engaging is changing up the way that you're filming. And so you could do one scene like this, and then you just move the camera over to the left, and then you just change your talking angle, and then you just move your camera over to the right, and you change your talking angle. So you're constantly finding different ways to film the video in different scenes. Now, if you have a ring light, all you got to do is take your fucking ring light, move it to one area of the house, take your ring light, move it to another area of the house, take your ring light, move it to another area of the house. Do something. Like, don't just stand there and fucking talk. Like, be engaging. Every 1.5 to 3 seconds, change up the scene so that I'm actually entertained. Another way that you guys can keep the video engaging is by like literally doing something random the whole video. Like you could be holding a coffee cup that's fucking empty the whole video. You could be dumping the coffee cup upside down the whole video. You could be fucking around with a water bottle the whole video. You could literally be playing with a lighter the whole video. You could be drinking a smoothie the whole video. You could be, in your car, like driving. I wouldn't recommend doing that, actually. I'm going to take that. Don't do that. But be entertaining and do something that keeps my fucking attention, okay? Now, last thing I'm going to say with engaging is you want to cut out all the dead empty space. So if you're like, never, ever, ever say these 3 words on sales calls, and then there's a fucking pause for a second, and then I'm like, don't say contract, say agreement. Don't say investment, say blah, 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 right? Like if I'm doing that and there's this like weird empty space in between my sentences, you need to edit that shit out because you want to make sure that like there's not an opportunity for people to scroll away. I want to keep your attention the whole fucking time. So it's like, it's a game of attention. I'm trying to keep you locked into my video. Cool. So step number 1, ideate. Step number 2, hook. Step number 3, engage. Step number 4. This is important. All right. By the way, this podcast is lit. Y'all are here. Got 85 people watching the live stream. I'm fucking into it. Step number 4, batch create. All right. You need to batch create. This is where a lot of you guys go wrong is you create a new piece of content every single day. You're fucking up. All right. Now, the reason you're fucking up is because getting myself to be entertaining, Brian, every day, like I'm a fucking dancing monkey, not so fun, right? Choosing one day a week where I get myself to be dancing monkey, Brian, pretty fucking easy. So I think it's really important to batch create, right? And do all of your videos at once, because then you get yourself in a character, you get yourself in a flow, you get yourself into feeling good. Once you get yourself into feeling good, the videos are just going to roll off your tongue. And so you want to batch create your content. I would recommend you guys batching at least 7 videos per week for your social media, all right? 4 of these videos should be recreations of your viral videos, and 3 of them should be your own ideas. Batch create your content. Really fucking important. All right, last and definitely not least, this is how I get banger after banger after banger. And like, I'm really proud of this, all right? If you guys go look at my page, at least in the last year, I have not posted a video that's gotten under 10,000 views ever in the last year, which is, to me, is fucking dope. Like I haven't posted a video on my page that's gotten less than 10,000 views in the last year, anywhere from 10,000 to 50,000 to 100,000 to a million views, whatever. So that to me is really cool. And the way that I do this, you guys, is number 5, write this down. Pay attention to average view volume. Pay attention to average view volume. Now, here's how this works. When I post a piece of content that gets way more views than my other videos, I find a way to recreate it or double down on that content style, right? This is why when you guys go to my page, I'm an online business coach for personal trainers, and I teach personal trainers how to grow successful online businesses. However, on my page, you'll only find content on sales and marketing content for the most part. I used to talk about client delivery, how to keep clients for longer. I rarely talk about that now. Why? Not because it's not important, but because you guys have voted with your attention that you don't give a shit about it. So as important as I think it is, like I think it's really important. When I post videos about how to revive a dead Facebook community or how to keep clients for longer or how to keep your retention rate high, nobody gives a fuck. And so I don't post those videos because I'm paying attention to the average view volume. And so a lot of you guys get this wrong because you've got like certain topics in your industry that you think are important that you want to talk about. But then when you post them, they flop. And then you think like, oh, I just need to keep posting it. It's like, dude, if I have a certain subject matter that ends up performing better than other subject matters, I'll just keep posting that. I'll recreate it. Here's an example. I think that developing the skill of sales is probably the single most important skill that you can develop, period. I think it's period, full stop. If you're not working on your sales game, you're fucking up. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. Now, I think the skill of sales has so many little nuances beyond words that you should never say on sales calls. But for some reason, whenever I post a video that's like never, ever, ever say these 3 words on sales calls, you guys fucking love it. And so I could post what I want, which is like, you should get better at your fucking sales skills because you shouldn't just be looking at words not to say on videos. But you guys have voted with your views that you like when I post content that's like, never say these 3 words in sales calls, never say these words in marketing. So that's what I do because you guys are voting with your views. And if you're voting with your views, you're consuming my content, you're watching the content, the watch time is going up, the shares are going up, the saves are going up, which is good for me because that tells Instagram that my content's valuable. So Instagram is showing my content to a wider audience, which is why my Instagram grows by 500 to 1,000 people a day. Make sense? Cool. So we've got step number 1 is the ideation. Step number 2 is to create a good hook. Step number 3 is to make the video engaging. Step number 4 is to batch create. And step number 5 is to pay attention to the average view volume. Double down on what's working or recreate what's working. And that's it. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Hopefully in this podcast, you learned not only what the purpose of the algorithm is, you learned how to understand the algorithm. You learned what the most important metrics are for your content so that your content actually gets shared. I also gave you 5 strategies and 5 steps to be able to create better content that gets shown wider on the algorithm. Very nice. All right. I just want to remind you guys that we are on December 17th, 2024, which basically means if you are not growing your online fitness business for the new year, you're fucking up in a big way. So if you're listening to this podcast right now, I'm going to give you a special promo. I'm doing 25 to 45% off all of my coaching programs. To be entered to win that, all you got to do is comment right now, case study, or send me a DM that says case study on Instagram, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help. This is only going to be for the remainder of the year. Upon January 1st, we will be increasing our prices. All right. So that is it. That is all. I hope you guys have the best day of your entire life. So comment case study if you're interested. The only other thing that I am going to say is that tomorrow I will be hosting. If you're listening to this on the podcast is getting posted on Wednesday. So Wednesday at 4 p.m. PST. And if you're listening to this on the live stream, it will be tomorrow at 4 p.m. PST. I'm going to be doing a masterclass on how to set yourself up for success for the new year. So if you got value from this episode, you are definitely going to want to be a part of the masterclass. You guys will be able to find that link in my Instagram stories. And it's going to be up Tuesday night. There's going to be a link, or Wednesday morning when you're listening to this podcast, there should be a link in my Instagram stories for you guys to be able to attend. One more thing. If you got value, like the podcast, share the podcast, save the podcast, leave me a review on the Change Lives Make Money Online Trainer podcast on Apple, Spotify, or iTunes. That means the world to me. So if you got value from this episode, leave me a review. Let me know. Peace. Have the best day ever. Bye-bye. See you later. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.